Hey, Viking fans, a question's been asked. Should we trade Andrew Booth Jr.? Let's get my answer next in 3, 2, 1. Gather around, Skull brothers and sisters. This is Skull World, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. You can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook at Skull World. Now make sure you hit subscribe. Hulk smash the like button, and let's go. Make sure you leave a comment. Tell me what you think about the idea of trading Andrew Booth Jr. And it's another reaction video. That's what I do here. So article came out in Fan Nation. Also, I guess is also in Yard Barker. It's also in USA Today, and our illustrious hero Will Raggett's SI.com put the article out. Should the Vikings consider trading Andrew Booth Jr.? He posed that question. I'm gonna get right into it. Let's get the article up, and then you can decide what you think. Either way, if we should trade Andrew Booth Jr., second year cornerback of the Minnesota Vikings. He was in the second round. I was excited about it. I thought he was third best corner in the draft, and I was evaluating, and I'm an expert, right? No, this is what I thought. Andrew Booth Jr. seemed to be a guy that could cover well, could hit, had good ball skills, made some crazy catches. I thought he was an all-around cornerback, much in the Antoine Winfield mode. Not super fast, but still good at that. But hey, and then he got into the league, and he was really handsy in practice. Had a lot of fire. He got in a little bit of arguments with the receivers, and Evans took over, basically passed him in the depth chart like right away. And it had a lot to do with Andrew Booth Jr.'s injuries, and he has a history of that. And that's what people are really negative on him. Will he be on the field? Can he be consistent? Can he get up to speed in the NFL? Preseason game, he got burned on a double move. What cornerback hasn't? We saw that several times last year with future Hall of Famer Patrick Peterson. So who hasn't? So let's get into the article. Should the Vikings consider trading Andrew Booth Jr.? Booth appears to be buried on the Minnesota depth chart at corner. Enlisting one player every NFL team should consider trading before the regular season begins. Bleachers Report Matt Holder went to the cornerback Andrew Booth Jr. for the Vikings. To say the least, Andrew Booth Jr.'s NFL career hasn't gotten off to a hot start. He barely played last year before suffering season-ending knee injury, participating in 6 contests with 1 start as a rookie, and it doesn't seem like that will change much in year 2. The Minnesota Vikings signed Byron Murphy Jr. during free agency and drafted another cornerback in Mekhi Blackman with the 3rd round selection. That combined with fellow 2022 pick Caleb Evans reportedly taking reps with first team defense during the training camp has pushed Booth down the depth chart. This is all true. And then they had Jojuan Williams. I think that's his name. Double check. All right. Depth chart. Jojuan Williams. Kalen Barnes. Jalen Williams came in. Tate Gowan. Not super sold on those guys, but hey, let's continue the conversation. Let's see what else he's got to say. You need corners, though. You need corners, depth chart or not. You need corners, and you drafted one in the 2nd round. All right. However, Clemson Proc has plenty of potential as he's only a year removed from being a 2nd round pick. Someone should be willing to take a chance on him. It doesn't sound like the Vikings are going to use him, so why not make a deal is the question. Should the Vikings really think about trading Booth? While I understand the line of thinking here, the short answer is no. Will Raggett says no. He answers that question. Let's find out what he thinks, and then I'm going to tell you what I think. Even if Booth is 5th on the Vikings cornerback depth chart behind Murphy, Evans, Blackman, Jojuan Williams, it still feels likely he makes the roster in a couple weeks. And considering how often cornerbacks get banged up in the NFL, he could be needed for depth reasons. So his thought process, what if these guys get hurt? We need a corner that can step in. He's not lying. Trading Booth now would mean punting on a player that Vikings selected 42nd overall just last year, a player who hasn't yet turned 23 years old. It's true that things haven't gone great for Booth in the NFL so far between injuries and inability to climb the depth chart when healthy. To be frank, his injury history makes him impossible to count on as a significant part of the team's future until proven otherwise. Right. I mean, best ability is availability. That ring a bell. It's true. I mean, I can see why people would be down on him for injury. You draft talent over anything. That's why I believe he was in the second round and not the first. I believe he's that talented. It's just injuries have set him back. And yeah, if you're gonna lose patience and try to break in a route, make a play, and boom, you're burnt. And now you look silly on the one play you screwed up in preseason. And I'm gonna tell you, I went back and watched every play. They didn't throw his way. They weren't throwing Andrew Booth Jr.'s way. And then when they did, he bit on it, and the guy took it to the house. But hey, that's also why trading him seems pointless. You'd be selling low. Teams that watch his tape and know about his injuries. Would anyone really give up any more than a late round pick for Booth at this moment? That doesn't feel like a worthwhile return for a recent top 50 pick unless the Vikings truly think he's lost cause as NFL corner. I 100% guarantee you Vikings do not think he's a lost cause. Booth is 22 years old for another month and change. Coming out of Clemson last year, he was viewed as a first round talent who the Vikings got in the second round. Oh, someone agrees with me because of injury questions. If he can stay healthy, which is admittedly a big if, there could be plenty of potential for the Vikings coaching staff to unlock. Instead of trading Booth for pennies, dollars, and smart move is to keep him around, let him continue to develop without forcing him into action unless it becomes necessary. Even though he's off to a slow start this year, Boo Jr. has 2 weeks of joint practices and 2 more preseason games to turn it around. So that is the biggest point right there. 2 weeks of joint practices. That's great for him, man. If he can go in there and show that he has the ability in full game speed against other teams in joint practices, Tennessee today, then the Cardinals next week. That's a great way to catapult him into the conversation. We will need him at some point. We'll need someone as talented as him at some point. He hasn't put it together, but can you imagine Kwesi, his first pick, Lewis Seen, not not the starter on the depth chart right now. Boo Jr., second round pick, not starter on not on the depth chart right now. And then Ed Ingram looking shaky, but he's starting, but looking shaky. And you got a guy like me calling for Brandel to take his position because right now I think Brandel's playing better than him. That's a tough pill to swallow. And then you got Asamoah being outpaced by Ivan Pace Jr. Asamoah, sorry. That doesn't look good for Kwesi's draft class, and then Evans with the concussions. That's your top 5 picks, and then throw in Ty Chandler breaking his thumb last year, but he looks good as our number 2 running back. That's a plus. Naylor looked good, but guess what? He shows up for one practice in full pads, and then boom, or I don't know if it was full pads, but one preseason practice, and then boom. No, haven't seen him since. Looks good though. So you got let me recap. Lewis Seen breaks his leg, barely plays last season. Was not a big hitter in that preseason game. He went in for the hit and got knocked down a couple times. He wasn't stacking bodies like he wants to. But he makes the play. I mean, he come ups and lays the hit. That's great. Covers a lot of ground. That's nice. Okay. Still wasn't a solid starting safety, performance by him, but he's still a good player, I think, in this league. And then you got Andrew Booth Jr., who's been just injury history, getting passed up by lesser drafted guys. I think he can turn it around. There's a path for him to turn around. It starts this week. Then you got Ingram, shaky, Asamoah. I guess he chooses the wrong hole a lot of times. He's very aggressive, but he's being passed up by UDFA this year or Pace Jr. It looks like it may happen. We don't know yet. There's a opportunity there for Pace. And then you got Evans, 3 concussions. Holy crap! And he's had a concussion history in college. That might rear its ugly head for us. And then I said that Ty Chandler looking good this year. He's healthy now. Broke his thumb last year. Then you got Jalen Naylor, who looks awesome. Muse, but then again gets hurt, and now we haven't seen him since. And who knows? They're bringing in receivers. They're trying out running backs. What's the deal there? You're wondering. I thought those positions were solidified. And then you got Nick Muse, who's in the 7th round, who was practice squad last year. But hey, he caught our first touchdown. But that does not ring. That does the bells aren't ringing saying, hey, that is a great draft class. So I do not think Kwesi's willing to boot this team. Why? Because they need them for next year. When we lose all these free agents, we can't trade off a talent like Andrew Jr. and then go, hey, let's fill a team now. We need all those draft picks this year to go out and get guys for next year, and then use these guys to fill in the right positions. It's just, it wouldn't make sense to trade off an Andrew Jr. I'm still thinking the same way as I thought about him before. That guy had all the talent in the world. He should have been a first round pick, hampered by injuries, and that's what cost him. Okay, I did not give away the card the last time. I didn't. When I asked for 100 likes, I didn't get 100. Asked for 50 likes, didn't get 50. Asked for 25 to get rid of this, give away this card. I did not get 25. I will give this away today in throwing a bonus card if I get to 25 likes, okay? Just get to 25 likes. I give that card to whoever puts a comment in the subject in the comment section. I'll raffle off one of the people who's in the comment section and send them these cards. Give me the 25 likes today. I appreciate Skull Vikings. Let's go. Cue the music.